Welcome to Gluten Free Unwrapped, the podcast that takes you inside the stories of the founders, CEOs, and influencers who make the gluten-free industry tick. Whether you're living a gluten-free lifestyle, building a brand, or just love a behind-the-scenes look at how your favorite products came to be, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Jenny Finke, and this is Gluten Free Unwrapped. Today, I'm excited to welcome Jill and Lily Bommarito, the dynamic mother-daughter duo behind Ethel's Baking Company. What began in a small Michigan kitchen as a labor of love has grown into a nationally recognized brand celebrated for its indulgent gluten-free dessert bars. Ethel's has earned a loyal following not just among those who eat gluten-free, but among anyone who appreciates a decadent handmade treat crafted with care. In this episode, we'll dive into the story behind the brand and how Jill and Lily built a thriving family business. We'll talk about the challenges of building a gluten-free brand, working with family, staying true to your mission, and what it takes to create products that stand out in a crowded marketplace. So, Jill, Lily, welcome to Gluten Free Unwrapped.
Thank you.
Happy to be here today.
Yes.
Oh, we're so excited to get to know your story. You are a company to watch. So I want to get right into it. I want to hear your story. Like, how did you get started in the gluten-free business, and how did the idea for Ethel's first come up?
Absolutely. So number one question we get asked is, who's Ethel? Ethel was my grandmother, and she was where I spent a lot of time growing up making amazing food. So celiac's been in my family for over 45 years, and everyone should be able to have amazing food together. That was lacking in the marketplace. And my desire to bring amazing goodness just started to bubble up in 2010, really in 2011. We decided to start a dessert company. And we started in a church and started wholesale to stores right here in Metro Detroit. The Pecan Dandy was the bar that started us.
Right.
Yeah, that's our number one still today.
Still.
No matter how many new items we launch. And it's grown organically from that point. We don't have a huge sales team. This is what you get.
I love it.
But we make amazing, delicious food, and will not compromise on that. And my goal from that very first day was to be the number one in what we do, period. Not the number one for gluten-free, the number one, the best in quality and the best in taste. And that's still what we're committed to today.
Wow. Well, and that Pecan Dandy is incredible. It's like pecan pie-ish. I don't know how to describe it. It's so amazing. And that was your first product. Is that what you were making in the church basement in Michigan?
Yes, we started with the pecan and a brownie and a blondie.
Yeah.
And that's what launched in stores.
And cupcakes.
And cupcakes. Yes. We had cupcakes.
Okay. Did you know anything about starting a food business when you went into this? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
That's funny.
Oh, it's funny. All right.
So what were some of the first steps you took? Like, so you created this delicious recipe from your grandma based on like love from your grandma.
Yeah.
And now you're making them. Are you packaging them? Are you selling them? What's going on?
Yeah. So we still make everything ourselves. So we're committed to that. We believe that we can control the very best quality and taste and food safety.
Wow.
So we are a manufacturer baking company. We still touch every bar by hand. There's a lot that's done still by hand, right? And we package everything by hand. And then these are sold across the country. And it's very exciting for us.
Yeah. So some of the first steps we took for, finalizing and scaling recipes from a single pan to 6 pans, which now is
6 pans to how many now?
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah.
In a day.
In a
Thousands
day.
and thousands a week.
Yep. And then figuring out how they were going to be packaged for sale. We started off mostly wholesale. So the only way to buy us retail was at Eastern Market in Detroit, which is one of the longest operating farmers markets in the US. And that's also where not only consumers, but retailers discovered us as well, local retailers.
Wow. Okay. So you really were sort of bootstrapping this in the beginning.
Oh,
making all the
100%.
bars.
Yes.
I feel like it's like I can visualize the two of you and your team, family making the bars
Oh,
and
in a kitchen with no heat and no air conditioning.
Yep.
oh
Uh,
wow.
yes. And that is exactly how we did it. I started with a $10,000 loan from my mother, and
Wow.
that was it. So she's been behind us too.
Mhm.
I bet she's so proud of you.
She
Yeah.
is.
And I think you've changed or you've turned that 10,000 into quite a bit more. It's amazing. Okay, so you're selling them at this farmer's market, but how did you go from this farmer's market to like today? I see you in Target and Sprouts and this thriving online business TikTok shop. I mean, I see Ethel's everywhere. You guys have like exploded. How did that, tell me, there's a lot of steps missing there.
Yeah. Yeah. We've had a lot of organic growth, which has been one of the most exciting parts. So, we got a call from Whole Foods Midwest was it 2014?
No, 2012. So
2012.
6 months after we started,
Yes.
the Midwest division called.
Wow.
Mhm.
6 months. That's it.
Months. And they said, can you supply the Midwest, which was 75 stores, with the Pecan Dandy? And we were in the church at that time. We knew we needed our own space. And so we said yes, but we just didn't say when. And so we got it. And within about 12 months, we were supplying the Midwest with that. That was that big aha moment, that phone call 6 months in. And at the same time, we then started with LaPerry, a Midwest distributor that helped us grow here in Detroit outward.
Yeah.
And so when we say it's been organic, it's really been how do we take care of one customer and then create a success and go from there,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
We just launched last month with Sprouts enterprise-wide, and then this month with Wegmans enterprise-wide, and next month with Walmart we'll be launching.
Wow.
Yes.
2,200 stores.
It's like meteoric. It's huge,
It's
huge
happening.
growth.
It's happening.
It is.
Everything.
This year is a big year for growth too.
It's crazy exciting. And you think about that church kitchen that had no heat, and no air, and then our 1,300 square foot bakery. Then we took over the next side, so we had about 2,600 square feet. And then in 2019, we were literally like moving through the building like this. And, we decided at that time to bring on some partners and be able to really build out a manufacturing facility. So we now have a 20,000 square foot bakery.
Wow.
And bake everything and get it out the door that same day. So we have a lot of capacity here. We're not anywhere near it.
Right.
Not anywhere near it, which is super exciting. But this is the path. It was built to take care of the Walmarts and the Costcos, and we have a Midwest Costco rotation coming up next month. I mean, we just have a ton of fun stuff happening.
That's amazing. Did you ever think you were going to be this entrepreneur and this successful this fast? I'm like, this is like, you guys are living the dream, man.
Okay, you tell the truth.
No, I mean, you've always been an entrepreneur, and
yes, I have.
You like to do new things.
I do.
Yeah, you've always got ideas. She's definitely a wanderer. If you've ever done the 6 Types of Working Genius, highly recommend. She's definitely a wanderer.
Wonder what if. So, Lily, like the rest of my family, thought this is a really cool thing to do. I felt it from the very beginning that my desire from the very beginning is to build a legacy brand. Like that's what we're building, a legacy brand. When was the last legacy brand you've seen in bakery? The last legacy brand, like really, when you look at some of the brands that you're really familiar with in bakery today, they're manufactured outside of this country. They're manufactured by a major corporation, and they are, have a brand name on them, but they're not really a company with real people behind it, growing something new. And in-store bakery is different than center store and grocery.
Right.
We're about that fresh experience that when you open our package, it's like you could pass it off like you just baked it at home. Like that's what we're want to bring. And so I believed in my heart, and have wanted to create relationships with the other big legacy brands. So I've had conversations just, some of them are my phone a friend. Like this is a new dilemma I have. How do we work through this? And
Yeah.
every single person and company I've ever reached out to has always been willing to help us. And it's always, how can we shorten the learning curve? So
Right.
in my heart, I've always felt it. And, so it seems to be coming true little by little.
Yeah, you've always had that entrepreneurial spark. Wow, that's a hard word to say.
It is.
I love
It
that.
is.
And to spell too.
Yes, yes. Don't ask me to spell it. Thank goodness. Okay, so you started with the pecan dandy. Now, is that Grandma Ethel's recipe, or is it inspired by her recipe?
It is a take on one of her recipes, but we had to, number one, everything my grandma made was in pie form. Okay. So like
Ah,
that's what I had for my birthday was pie. Like that's my number one. And when you have celiac, that's just not been available, at least not in that same quality where if you're sharing it with everyone else, they don't realize they're getting a gluten-free item. Like my goal was when you share our items, no one will ever know it's gluten-free. So when you're eating with gluten-full people, they're not like, oh, this is good for gluten-free, right? So I wanted to create something like that. And everything that we've done, that we've created, has been to connect with that feeling of pie. And so, yes, these are takes on her recipes and inspiration. Our raspberry crumble, raspberry is what I had for my birthday every year, raspberry pie. That's
oh,
what it is based on. So they're not the exact same because I'll get comments, well, they didn't have gluten-free,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. No, this is about creating that perception and that feeling of joy
yeah.
and deliciousness and sharing and celebration. So
Okay.
that's what these came to be.
Yeah.
And for people who haven't had Ethel's before, like it's like a layer of shortbread pie crust, and then it's topped like maybe with a fruit filling or like the pecan. I don't need, it's amazing. And then sometimes it has a streusel topping. Like there's different flavors. So if you haven't tried an Ethel's bar before, you gotta do it. Like, what are you waiting for? They're so good. And yeah, pie is something we miss in the celiac world for sure.
Well, and there are some out there that are good brands, but
Yeah.
you may not get, you might just want one. You might just want a
Right.
little handheld piece. So we try to make it easy for you to eat, easy to share.
Yep.
Mm.
Sometimes pie has to be, it's for a whole occasion. We just
Mhm.
wanted to make that something that could be easily shared with your friends and
Yeah.
family.
Sharing if you want to, but you can hoard it to yourself.
Yes.
I love it. So let's dive into this a little bit. Like, obviously, we have a mother-daughter duo here. This is really, really sweet to see. I'd love to know a little bit about how you came to work together and what it's like to work with your daughter or mother and how that dynamic is.
Yeah.
I'll let you start.
Yeah, so I had not intended to go into the food business as a whole. I thought I was going to go to vet school. So I generally came back on all my college breaks to work in the kitchen, work in production, and really enjoyed it and saw an opportunity to be part of something that was growing and an amazing business. So when I graduated, I came on full time as our production manager, worked on the line, and yeah, we kind
Yeah.
of went from there.
Well, and she's being modest. So when she came back, we needed to scale and think about how to have the food safety systems in place
Yeah,
that would allow us to grow further and get all of our certifications. And we had always been certified gluten-free and kosher, but
we no, we were not at that point.
oh,
We didn't get our certification till after I came on board. So,
you're right.
yeah, so yeah, we
Wow.
were certified
Yes.
kosher, but I led our gluten-free
Yes.
certification, and that entire process.
Yes, and developed a food safety plan and a
Yeah.
HACCP plan. So she came in with her science background, was
Yep.
able to apply that, and actually train someone up to replace her in production.
Yep.
Once she did that, she came over into the sales and marketing side,
Yep.
and she's been the support. She ran the Whole Foods Midwest, and then just learned and gleaned. She's worked in every part of the organization.
Yeah, it's been a lot of really hands-on
Yeah,
learning, which
everything.
is the best way to do it. In all, like I said,
Yes.
all parts of the organization. And then just kind of building on relationships and
Yeah.
as we grew and we added more customers and we needed someone dedicated to, that support role for sales and marketing and growing into that position.
And she's been in that role, but we had hired kind of what I would say some industry big guns. Like I'm
Mhm.
just going to say this because this is really meaningful, who were really good people.
Yeah.
But we just couldn't quite get that mark, meaning what we needed to do. And once, Lily was always had her customers and they were growing and growing. And finally we're like, okay, enough of this. She's gonna lead sales and we're gonna get it done. And so
Yep.
she took over sales a little over a year
A year
ago.
ago.
And it's been like boom. And partly because we have the right
Wow.
products now, but
Yes.
it's the right time. We're the real people behind it.
Right.
We know we care. We're here to create support and long-term relationships.
Yeah.
And it can't come clearer than someone that's related to Ethel. Like that's
Right.
never
Yeah.
going to be clearer than that message.
Yeah, both retailers and our direct customers really appreciate that genuine relationship and having someone at the table who is really invested and committed, in the business as a whole and supporting that relationship.
Absolutely. I mean, you can see it just talking to both of you that there's a lot of heart in this business.
Oh,
And
yeah.
nobody, like something I feel like in business, nobody's ever going to treat your business with the same love and care as the people who are 100% in on the, everything's on the line for you and all the love is in there. So it definitely shows. So it makes sense that sales just skyrocketed when you had Lily take over and everything. So that's awesome to hear. Are there any challenges of working together? Because your mom, like it's still your mom at the end of the
Yes.
day, My
Yeah.
daughter's always like, Mom, stop,
Yeah, we definitely had to get good at compartmentalizing, the work mindset versus the home mindset and
Yeah.
not letting the two overlap as
And
much.
and she's had to call it out a couple
Mhm.
times when we've been somewhere or doing something. She's like, okay, this is not work. I don't want to talk about this right now. And it's super fair because I try to do that. My husband also works in the business and we
Mhm.
have to compartmentalize. We're not as good as Lily and I are. The other is we have to have signs when one of us might be stepping into the personal role at work, meaning
Mhm.
that maybe our tone of voice has changed, right?
Mm.
Or maybe, so we do have signs. We've had to sometimes sit down and say, okay, let's revisit that.
Yep.
So we're conscious of it. We do have a lot of family that's in family business, and
Yes.
we've learned from their opportunities, but they're good at it too.
Yeah.
And if they've been successful at it for 30 years in the restaurant industry, then, we should be able to figure out a way to do this too. But we
Yeah.
believe in having like healthy relationships. And we want it to feel like a family business to our team members, but we don't ever want it to feel like anyone's more important than the other, right? So
Yeah.
we be conscious of it.
Mhm.
That's good. I'm going to take a lesson from your playbook because I have a business and it was growing really fast and my husband was helping a lot with the business. And we've been married 25 years and we didn't fight. Like we really don't ever fight,
No.
but we fought. Like we disagreed on things like packing
Yes.
boxes and yeah.
Yes. Vince and I get along really well. And this has been the most friction that's ever been caused by
Yeah.
anything. So it's understandable. But then realizing what's really causing it, it's not personal, it's more pressures, right?
Yeah,
External
pressure.
So figuring out how to deal with that is important.
I love that. I'm going to tell my husband that it's not personal. It's just pressure. I love that.
Yeah, I'll tell that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that's a great line actually. Okay, the trajectory has been something phenomenal. Like it's just been so fast for you guys. But so was there ever a moment where you're like doubting yourself, where you're like, I don't know. I don't know. Is this gonna happen?
Woo. I'll just say one part and then I'll let Lily elaborate. I never doubted the product,
Yeah.
the partnerships, the relationships, our people, our team, the wonder of like what's happening in the marketplace and can we pivot fast enough
Right.
in order to address the major bottlenecks.
Mhm.
And we did. And I'll
Mhm.
let Lily explain that.
Yeah. So, before last year, when we really made a big pivot with our packaging, which anyone who's followed us for a long time would see the difference. We were a $10 to $11 item in bakery, which is a tough price point for a lot of people.
Mhm.
It's not something that most people are going to impulse purchase. So we had to figure out how do we redevelop and pivot to an item that is going to be, ideally below $7. Still maintain our integrity, our product quality, not compromise on our ingredients or our process, but be able to be in more retail stores. I mean, a $10 item in Walmart is
Never
not
work.
going to cut it.
No.
So we had to really take a step back and figure out what was
Mhm.
that solution going to be, because we were stalling as to the retailers that
Yeah.
could be successful with the product
And
that we had at that time.
COVID was adjusting.
Yep.
There were supply chain issues. Inflation hit. So it took us into the $11 range.
Yep.
At the same time, for several years, we've been listening to feedback from our category managers, our
Mhm.
buyers, the distributors saying, you need to say gluten-free bigger. We need to see more of the bars. We
Right.
need to have different merchandising. You need to get the price down, the case down, all of that. So we took all of those, and we made the decision in May to do it of 23. And we had the product ready for market in November with a custom packaging, all new design,
Yep.
all new serving size. So we had to entirely launch
Yeah.
a new product and take the product we'd had forever out of the marketplace. Now, if anyone would have told me ahead of time what that was going to be, I would have said that's probably impossible. And we did it the fastest. How we were able to be nimble and do that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So our decision in May to do
May.
it. In June, we showed samples at IDDBA,
Yep.
and every single buyer of ours, every retailer said, we'll take it.
Mhm.
And
Wow.
we Target was the first to bring it in, December 25th.
23.
Yep, December 25th of 23. And we spent the entire year last year changing that out in the marketplace. So
Yep.
this is our first full year with this item in the marketplace, and the reception, from the marketplace has been amazing. And
Mhm.
that's why we're able to do what we're able to do this year.
Yep.
And the product that you're referring to are the trays, or are they the
Yeah.
bars? The
Yeah.
trays. Would you say that's your signature product, the trays,
yes.
or?
Absolutely.
That's
Yep.
it. That's what we
Yep.
sell.
The dessert bars.
Yep, the dessert
Okay.
bars, and we're known as a dessert bar company. We've
Yep.
just
Yeah.
added cookies.
Yes.
We've just added cookies, and so we think of ourselves more as just a premium baking company, meaning it's about clean label, it's about real ingredients and real amazing flavor. And we've been so lucky because the growth has come, not only from the gluten free, but just full a company that's transparent about what is in the products.
Right.
And we have very stringent requirements. And so,
Ingredients.
and you look at, when you talk about our jams, every jam is our recipe.
Mhm.
It's our recipe.
Oh, wow.
Us
Yeah.
with exactly the amount of seeds we want, with the amount, everything. So they're very simple ingredients in our jams. It's just fruit, sugar, and pectin, cane sugar. So
Yeah, everything you have is such clean ingredient list. And I was just thinking about, because we include Ethel's inside our Love Me Gluten Free boxes, and they last several weeks shelf
Yeah.
stable. And even when I see them at Target, I see them in the bakery section
Yep.
just sitting out. They're
Yes.
not refrigerated, they're not frozen. But how do you do that without putting all sorts of weird preservatives and chemicals in there?
Yeah, so part of what makes our custom packaging really special is it has an extra airtight seal. So that helps us get that 30-day shelf life at room temp for our retail partners. But we also use real cane sugar, honey.
Honey is
Some
a
of those
preservative.
ingredients are
Oh.
natural
Mhm.
preservatives in a way.
Yeah.
So we're able to get that really amazing shelf life, but keep the product really fresh for our customers.
Okay, so how this question's probably more a little bit for Jill. How has your leadership style evolved over the years? Because obviously you were probably, chief chef at the beginning, and now you're running the business in a different level. How has it evolved for you?
Yeah. It has to be more intentional now, meaning to get out and make sure you're spending time with team members, because you can get siloed, right? You can be worried about finance, and you're working on finance, you're worried on HR, you're working on processes. So it's just making sure you're distributing your time. I'm still learning. I will continue to learn forever. I have someone I work with now who is a coach who comes from the industry. He's working with actually all of our leadership team, and he's been amazing. So
Mhm.
we're always looking to grow, but it's keeping the same, like that we're all equal, we're all kind,
Mhm.
hardworking people, we all hustle, we're all in this together, we're a family. We spend most of our more waking hours with each other than we do with our own families at home. So we try to take that approach. Like we're a family, but we're
Mhm.
really a family.
Mhm.
And that part stayed the same. It just takes a little more time to get that message out there and spend it with the rest of the team. So being more intentional about that's been a big focus.
I love that. Yeah, you have to be intentional and with your time and your resources and how you
Yes.
treat people, and especially like you're under a lot of pressure as you're growing really fast. So for sure.
Yes.
Um, have you felt like you've had to make any sacrifices along the way?
I would say the sacrifice is really the time and some relationships. Like that's big. It's been
Mhm.
time and
It's
personal
big.
relationships.
Yep.
It is big. It's hard. And friends who love you will understand, that there's a lot going on. And
It's been a
we
long time.
Yeah.
we were really lucky. We were enrolling all our friends and family to help
Oh,
us.
oh, oh,
You
We
do that
absolutely.
too?
did you in the beginning. Yep. Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I still said to the team this week, well, should we call all our friends and family and
Right.
and they're like, no, they're never going to understand our speed now. It's not going to happen.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, all hands on deck at first, but now you guys have some systems in place to
Yes.
help you and not,
We
yeah,
do.
we were feeling like we were burdening our family and friends for so long, and when you gotta figure that out and get to that next level.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, is there anything that you've learned along the way that you were like, I wish I knew this when I started in that basement, church basement? Like, I wish I knew this back then that I know it now.
Well, the one thing that is absolutely true is your numbers don't lie. You need to understand your numbers from the
Mm,
beginning. And you need to have either a family friend that's an accountant, you need to have somebody because you can be selling like crazy and paying someone 10 cents per unit if you don't really understand. Like
Yeah.
that's one. The other for me is to make the decisions you procrastinate. Make those decisions faster because not making a decision is actually making a decision to let
Yeah.
something fester. And I have regretted it every time. So having the conversations faster, making the decisions faster, those are the two things, along with really knowing your numbers really quickly. And
yeah.
that's a thing. That's a
Mhm.
hard thing for
Mhm.
me. Is there anything, Lily,
Well,
for
yeah.
you?
What about for you, Lily?
Um,
Something you wish you knew before you started down this path at Ethel's?
I don't know if there's anything that I wish that I knew. I think there's definitely things I'm glad I didn't know before.
That's a great answer.
But before getting too far down the road or before committing to, transitioning every customer last year to a new package. So probably better things that I didn't know before getting into it.
That's funny. That's a
Maybe
great
just
answer.
learn it as we go.
Yes. Otherwise, it would have seemed
It
too
would have been too
overwhelming.
overwhelming. It
It
would have
would have
been
Yeah.
been
too
too
overwhelming.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
And on that same note, if I would have known that building a brand and
Mm,
building a manufacturing company were two separate skill sets
yeah.
that require two separate sets of financials that rely on each other. But, companies that actually manufacture and build a brand are few and far between.
Yeah.
Now, it makes us a rock star, and I'm
It
super excited
does.
about that.
It's what allows us to
Yes.
make these, pivots
Yes.
and change things when we need to.
Right.
But
Along with Lily, if I would have probably not started it had I understood what that meant.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
I just thought, oh, I'm just growing a fun baking company. There's two separate things to growing a brand and growing a manufacturing facility. And we're so fortunate to have amazing people on our team with incredible experience in the manufacturing side.
yeah.
Were you ever tempted to go to a co-manufacturer to produce this, or it wasn't even on your radar? You're like, this is how you do it. I'm making it myself.
It was definitely, I get calls about that still quite a bit
Mhm.
from other businesses wanting to understand what they should do. And, the highest risk is growing a brand and a manufacturing facility. It's the highest risk of failure. I mean, just off the charts. But there wasn't anyone doing it and there still isn't. that's doing it in our way.
Mhm.
And so we knew that. And then some of
Yeah.
the big companies started coming to us, the big bakery companies saying, oh, um, it- sharing knowledge with us that nobody is doing this right now
Yep.
and that we're doing something unique, but we also need to have some efficiencies in there. And so we've been working on that, and that's how we've been building out our manufacturing team, but we're still hand touch. So at this point, what we do is different than
Yeah.
others,
Mhm.
and it shows and it comes through in the taste and the quality, and we're
Right.
really happy about that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then when you say you're a manufacturing company, are you manufacturing other products outside of your own, or is it just all Ethel's and growing from there?
It's all Ethel's. Yep.
All
Mhm.
Ethel.
And growing from there.
Yeah, and
Wow.
we have capacity,
Mhm.
so it doesn't mean that we won't contract manufacture. So we have a couple that we've been speaking with, which is obviously confidential, but we will not compromise our time
Right.
in for what we need. And we're very focused on growing our brand here and being a rock star manufacturer. And so if the right customer came up and it was a cohesive, collaborative, made sense partnership, we may consider that. Private label, yes,
Yes.
that is part of our manufacturing.
Mm,
But we're very, very focused on our brand and taking care of our customers.
wow. Okay, you guys are talking a lot about growth. Where do you see Ethel's in like 5, 10 years from now?
Oh, everywhere.
You heard
So
it here first.
do you
Everywhere.
really want to know? So, building a legacy brand means that when someone says Ethel's, they'll know what that means,
It's a
right?
household
It's a
name.
household
Yeah.
name. So
Mm,
we see ourselves in retailers,
Mm-hmm.
right? All the retailers,
Mhm.
in convenience, food service, which would be
right.
quick serve restaurants, which would be hotels,
Mhm.
which would be entertainment venues, we airlines,
Yep.
so
Hospitals,
hospitals,
universities.
universities. So we have a plan for
Mhm.
all of that, but we want to be successful strategically with each customer, build out the success in retail so that they know who we are, that it then allows us to branch out further into those other channels as well. And club, I mentioned club should be in there too.
Club. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, amazing. Well, these are all exciting things. I actually didn't know a lot about your story, so this has been really fun for me. I have a
Thank
few
you.
rapid fire questions
Okay.
that I'll throw at you, and maybe you might both want to answer them. We'll pick and
Okay.
choose a little bit too, but you don't have to overthink it. But you're welcome to explain it too if you feel
Okay.
like it's not just a one-word answer. But I want to know your favorite flavor. So, Jill, favorite Ethel's flavor?
Pecan Dandy.
Pecan Dandy, the original. How about you,
Mhm.
Lily?
Mine is the turtle dandy with the chocolate.
Ah, okay. And I'm going to go with lemon just because I want to add into my own rapid fire answer because I love the lemon crumble. I just love everything lemon.
Well, what's interesting is just so you know, they are all within 1 to 2 to 3 percentage points of each other. Pecan's about 5 more, but they're all very close. So
Yeah.
it's not like there's one that's crazy over the other.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, they're so good. All right, what is one word you would use to describe your journey so far? One word.
Miraculous. Miraculous. Like truly. Truly. I
Truly.
have a better chance for us of winning the lottery than being where we are today. Like miraculous.
Wow. I love it. What
Yes.
is the best advice you've ever received?
The best advice I've ever received. Um, be really good at what you do. Do not try to be everything to everyone. So be a rock star and have focus. Figure out how not to be running around distributing and purchasing. And so it was really be amazing manufacturers and
Mhm.
stop doing all these other pieces and find
Mm,
someone else to do it.
Right.
get distracted by other things. How about
Yeah.
you? How about you, Lily?
Um, I would agree on the focus, which also relates back to even product assortment, focus on being really, really good at
Yes.
dessert bars, cookies,
Yes.
these things that we are known for versus being spread out across granola bars and cupcakes and muffins and cookies and all the other things that we did make at one point or another.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, what is one thing you wish you were better at? Like something you were more talented at or a character trait you were better at?
Focus. Focus would be.
I love it. That's apropos.
And Lily,
Yeah, I would say, wondering, asking the questions. I get a little too focused sometimes, so wondering and asking the questions would be something I wish.
it's why we work so well together
Mhm.
because we have really opposite strengths.
Yep.
And it really works with in our meetings and in our relationships. So I think that's part of the magic too.
Yep.
I have to interrupt our rapid fire. Do you have other children too, or is just Lily?
Yes, I have a son, Joseph. Yes.
Is he involved in the business?
Well, he's had options and he hasn't run for it yet, but
He does
he
manage our
does.
TikTok.
Okay, okay.
He set up our TikTok and he does manage that piece for us.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And
Okay, I just had to take a side note. I was curious.
And he certainly helped out in a pinch and he will again in the future. So
Gotcha.
Very
Gotcha. So what is one ingredient you wouldn't be caught dead putting in an Ethel's bar?
Artificial dyes, artificial colors.
Oh, of course. Gross, right? Okay, a little personal. What's a favorite book, podcast, or TV show you're really into right now?
Lily, I read a lot. I would say my favorite book, though, that's been the last couple years is the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, #1, for sure.
Really? I have not heard of that. I'm going to have to check it out.
And my favorite book that I refer to a lot is called My Stroke of Insight. And it's just really about overcoming adversity and looking at things through a different lens. And I find it fascinating. I think everyone should read it and then have their significant other read it as well. So, I read a lot about neuroscience and stuff.
Yeah.
So something work related, though, the 6 types of working
Oh my
genius.
gosh.
I mean, like, hands down, it's relevant to your personal life and your family life. It's relevant to your working relationships. And it's really fun to figure out what your 2 working geniuses are and kind of try to figure out what friends and family might be too.
I mean, it's actually helped us work better together. It's helped me understand reactions from teammates.
Yep.
It's helped me understand what frustrations others may have with my sense of wonder. Like that's where it starts, the person that's the wonderer. Then you have the
there's wonder,
intervention,
tenacity,
discernment. So hands down, it's a game changer. And I've recommended that over and over. I would definitely recommend anybody to read that for personal or business.
Oh, wow. Say the name of it again.
The 6 types of working genius.
6 types of working genius. Okay. I gotta note that one. You guys definitely sold me on that.
And it's easy to listen to.
Yep.
You know, it's easy to download and just listen to an audiobook. But it's a game changer in how you interact. And you know what else? It helps you realize instead of feeling inadequate in something, it helps you realize it's just not your working genius. Give it up and put it over. Let someone else. And that's a big realization. Instead of feeling like you're inadequate in something, you're like, oh, I get it. That's why I don't do that very well.
Yeah.
So
it's not my skill. It's someone else's skill set, but not bad. Yeah.
Pick that up and run with it.
Yes. And if you've been married 25 years, I'm going to guess that you guys have some working geniuses. So.
Yes, we do for sure, which is similar to you guys. You know, we complement each other because our brains are wired very different.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I think Ethel's is definitely a brand that a lot of other brands admire, but just to spread the love, what is another gluten-free brand that you guys admire? Well, for me personally, Canyon Bakehouse, because when I was just starting, I think it was before I even launched, a blogger, you know, at that time on Twitter connected me with them and we had a giveaway in 2012, I think. And they had that same kind of commitment to goodness and that. And I know they've since sold, but it's still a brand that we have in our house and that I enjoy. So to me, that is a great brand. What about you, Lily?
I would say they're not in retail yet. You can order them online. But Modern Bread and Bagel is one of the most amazing gluten-free things I have ever tried,
ever.
you would truly never know that it's gluten-free. I've been there in person to some of their retail locations in New York. I have ordered it online. Everything is absolutely incredible.
They
The
should be.
bagels
Yeah.
are out of this world. I hope someday they make it into retail.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
I have them. They're coming to our house right now.
We
I have them
ordered this week.
Oh, wow. I think we have to order some. I have not tried
Good.
them because I'm not in the East Coast, but I've heard about their bakery and they have baking mixes and things like that too.
Oh,
Yes.
It will be, you will just think you have gone to heaven when you
Yes.
taste so we ordered the sesame seed bagels.
Bagels,
We
yeah.
live in Detroit, so it's shipping to us too. It takes
Yeah.
a little while, but they're delicious.
So worth
Now,
it.
are you both fully gluten-free or so you
Yeah.
kind of know like what good bread, gluten-free bread would taste like? Yeah.
Yes.
And we order every product from everyone, whether they're a big company or a small company.
We try everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because we want to have
amazing.
food, and we're always helping to, willing to spread the word. And there's other companies out there right now that I think are great, and there's enough room for all of us. We just need to make amazing product that everyone can enjoy together.
Yep.
Exactly.
I do love Simple Mills too.
Oh, yeah, Simple Mills.
So many great
We love
products.
Simple Mills.
Yeah.
We love
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Maybe they'll inspire you guys to make a grain-free product someday.
Well, you never
You
know.
never know.
You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah, they're all
Remember-
grain-free.
I went to visit Caitlin a long time ago and she was, just getting started out, and, to see where she's gone with that company is fascinating.
Yeah.
Very fascinating. They've had a huge growth. Yeah, very impressive. Okay, so last rapid fire question, which actually probably isn't a rapid fire question. I really should revisit these, but what is your favorite part about running Ethel's?
For me, that every day is something new, and that we have such an amazing team and family, and that we're making a difference in the industry, and not just with food, but with how we manufacture. We're using equipment in ways that it's never been used before. So we're innovating on the equipment side, on the product side.
Wow.
That we're growing people. So we have a second chance program. We've had it for years, and we grow our team from within. And so it's just a wonderful place to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, there's never a boring day. We learn something new literally every single day. So it never gets old. It's never the same.
No.
And that's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
And just our team too. I mean, we're so committed to our culture and growing team members that embrace that culture, and it's a place to work.
Yeah. We tell everyone, guys, there's no manual for this. We are making it up as we go along
every day.
And we need everyone's brain power and their innovation and their input. And so everyone feels like they're part of something bigger, which is super cool.
You guys should be so proud. I can actually feel you guys, beaming like this is such an amazing business, and you're making so many people happy, and you're doing it the right way. And I can just feel it emanating from you. So I love talking to you guys. It's awesome.
Well, when you're out this way, we'd love to show, if you're ever in Michigan for any reason, and you may never, I don't know, where do you live?
I'm in Denver.
We go to Denver quite a bit. Well, we love Denver.
Yeah.
So, but if you're ever out this way, we'd love to show you around. But thank you for helping us get the story out, because we do want people to know us better. And so this is thank you.
I think that a lot of times we realize that people aren't just buying products there. They want to know what's going on behind the brand. And I think it'll make them even love you more if that's possible, because it is a great product and you guys do have a great story. And, what's next for you guys? What's next for Ethel's?
Well, Lily, you're drawing out the numbers today.
Yeah. Well, we talked about, expanding this into some other types of channels. So food service to cover those universities, hospitals, airlines, working on having some new things in club, and some new types of products as well. So something that's going to fit a little better on a breakfast table versus
Hint, hint.
Yes. And then, something that really is new this year is we are relaunching all of our cookies. So
and new cookies,
and brand new cookie flavors, like our confetti cookie, which is only available in Sprouts right now. It'll be growing this year. our brown butter chocolate chip, and oatmeal raisins. Those will be hitting stores. They're in Sprouts now, but we'll be expanding in July.
And then some new seasonal flavors that have never been out to market. You'll see.
I know. I want to try some of your new flavors. That's what I'm excited about.
All right. We're excited too.
Yes,
definitely.
So how can people keep in touch with you if they want to learn more?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, we're trying to be better about maintaining our social media, keeping updates about what's happening here at Ethel's, new flavors, what's happening with our retail partners. We have a newsletter. You can sign up on our website.
At ethels.com.
Yep.
So ethels.com.
Yep. And then we're active on LinkedIn as well.
So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and ethels.com.
And TikTok. We have to mention.
Yes.
Everywhere. I love it.
Everywhere.
Very accessible too, and when someone reaches out to the company, they're probably talking to one of you.
There's about an 80% chance that it's one of us.
I love it. Sierra or Madison.
Yep.
So it's Lily, Jill, Sierra, or Madison.
Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you guys so much. I loved our conversation today. I really appreciate you taking the time to share your story and keep making amazing products. We appreciate it in the gluten-free community. I think I speak on behalf of all gluten-free people when I say thank you.
Well, thank you for helping us with our first podcast. So thank you.
Thank you for listening to Gluten Free Unwrapped. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone in your gluten-free circle. You can connect with me, Jenny, on Instagram at GoodForYouGlutenFree, and be sure to check out my carefully curated celiac-friendly subscription boxes at lovemeglutenfree.com. I'll return next week to unwrap more inspiring stories from the people shaping the gluten-free world. Until next time, stay strong, eat well, and remember, you don't have to do this alone.